Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd share with you a little video about kind of what it takes to be an entrepreneur, how to be an entrepreneur, how to start your own company, and kind of the things you need within yourself to start your own business. So that little guy over there is my dog. That's Maxie. Max, come here. Come here. Come say hi. No? He's content where he is. We'll just leave him there. Okay, so let's just dive right into the video. So the first and single most important thing when you're thinking about starting a company or becoming an entrepreneur is your reason why and your driving force. This why needs to come from within and come from within yourself, and it has to be fueled by emotion. There needs to be an emotional aspect and an emotional investment in yourself and in your company for it to be successful. So for example, if you're thinking about starting a company and your driving force and your fuel is money, that's probably not the best idea, because most people know in startups, you're not going to start making money for at least the first year. Unless you just hit the jackpot, your company is not going to become profitable as quickly as you might want it to be. So if money is your driving force, that's probably not the best idea, and you're probably not going to see immediate success and results. So you've probably heard this a million times, but it is so true that really the only way you are going to be successful is if your driving force is passion. Passion is the single most important ingredient in starting any company and becoming an entrepreneur. Your why has to be passion, and that passion needs to come from within. So you have to be 110% passionate about what you're selling, what you're making, what you're doing, etc. It just all has to boil down to passion. So obviously being an entrepreneur and starting your own company is so time consuming, and you are going to need to devote every second of the day, sorry he's moving around, every second of the day to your company and to whatever your passion is. And if you are not passionate about it, you are more likely to give up. So of course we all have our bad days. I know there's some days where I get down on myself and I think that I'm not going to be successful and I can't do what I'm doing. But those are the times when you need to focus in and really hone in on that passion and tell yourself that you can do it. If you tell yourself in your mind that you can do it, you are going to achieve it. So my tip number 2 is you cannot be afraid of failure. I think failure is just as important as passion. Like, you need to fail. Failing is so important because if you don't fail, you're not going to learn. For myself, I know starting my own company, this has been a lot of trial and error. I'm seeing what works and what doesn't work, and by seeing what doesn't work, I can make sure I don't do that again. So that's why failing is so important, and you can't be afraid of failure. If you fail, you just got to get back up on your feet, learn from it, move past it, and keep going. Failure is definitely something that can get a lot of people down. So when you're starting your own company, you have to be mentally strong enough to not let that failure get you down. You need to make sure that you are mentally tough to make your failure create motivation within yourself to push forward and change that failure into success. So another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with being okay with failure is the willingness to take risks. A lot of people are afraid to take risks because of things like money security and stuff like that, and that's totally okay. Like, I understand that. Like, I'm afraid every day that my business is gonna fail and then I'm gonna be broke. But you know what? I'm willing to take that risk because I know that if I have the drive and if I can get over the fear of failure and the fear of taking risks, I know that I'm going to be successful because I'm not going to accept anything other than success. So that's the kind of mentality you need when you're starting your own business, is you need to tell yourself that you are going to succeed no matter what. Failure for your company is not an option. Failure in certain aspects, yeah, that's okay. Like, you can get over that. But a whole failure and quitting is not an option. You need to tell yourself that you are going to be successful. You are going to succeed. This is going to be a worldwide success, and it's going to happen. If you tell yourself that and you get into that mentality, it will happen for you because you will make it happen. But that also just kind of boils down to the passion and making things happen from within yourself. If you're not willing to do it and you let the fear of failure and the fear of taking risks overtake your passion and your drive for success, failure is what's going to happen. And I think it is important to be honest with yourself when you're starting your own company. I mean, a lot of people can want to start a company, but unless you are completely committed, and I mean like 110% committed, you probably shouldn't be doing it. I mean, I've invested my own money in this company, so I'm not letting it fail. Like, failure is just not an option, because if it fails, that's all my money down the drain. So you have to be honest with yourself if you're gonna make it happen or not. You have to have a personality type that's 110% fully committed to doing something. If you're kind of the person that tends to flake or like not really show up and do things and make things happen, maybe being an entrepreneur isn't for you and working for someone else is, and that's totally okay. There's a million types of people in the world. Not everyone's the same. Not everyone has to be an entrepreneur, but it's just something that I chose to do, and it's within my personality type and kind of how I am and how I think I was wired, just because of how my parents are. So my third tip comes off of the second tip, and it's just don't let other people get you down. When you're starting your own company and when you're going off and doing something completely on your own, you're gonna have people that are gonna tell you, you're too young, you're not this, you're not that, you don't have enough money. There's gonna be so many people telling you that you can't do it, but you cannot let those people get you down. Just because someone tells you you can't do something, that just might mean that they can't see the bigger picture and see what the future really holds for your company. You know the old saying, like, let your haters be your motivators? I've definitely honed in on that with my own company, because that's definitely been a driving force. I don't know, I'm kind of the type of person where if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna want to do it 10 times better. And I think that's the thing that a lot of entrepreneurs have within themselves, that they have that passion and that drive that makes you want to break through all the boundaries and make sure that your company is successful, because someone may have told you you can't do it. So because someone told you you couldn't do it makes you want to do it even better. And I think that's kind of a good quality. So my fourth tip for being an entrepreneur and starting your own company is to really know your story. Your story is just as important as the product that you're selling. Nowadays, brands really aren't just about the product. There are so many brands out there, but brands are more about the lifestyle and the lifestyle that the brand portrays. So I don't let it scare me that there are a million other swimwear lines out there. I use that as motivation to keep building my story and building my brand differentiation. And especially for my company, because it is swimwear and there are so many swimwear lines out there, the story is kind of even more important than the product. I mean, of course you have to have an amazing product, and I do have an amazing product. I stand behind that 100%, but my story and my branding and my messaging and my logo and the lifestyle that the brand portrays is even more important than the product in some cases. So your story is really what's going to sell your brand to customers, to investors, to anyone, and that's really what's most important. So my tip number 5 is to always be learning. Take every opportunity you can to learn from other people who have started their own businesses. Watch YouTube videos, read books, talk to people. Everything in life is really connections. So try to connect with as many people as you can. Connections is really so important in life, and that's definitely something I've learned with starting my own company, is that connections are literally everything. Having connections and building your network is going to launch your company to the next level. So I suggest that you go on your LinkedIn page, see who you're connected with, see who your friends are connected with, expand your network and see who you can learn from. Try to find one new connection a day and try to go get coffee with that person, talk to them over Facebook, pick up the phone and have a phone call with them. There's also so many groups nowadays. For example, like there's a bunch of groups for young women entrepreneurs. Try to find something in that in your community where you can connect with other people. It's really amazing how much you can learn when you connect with like-minded people. So those are all like my main tips in becoming an entrepreneur and starting your own business, but they also kind of really apply to just real life. Like, you don't need to be an entrepreneur to kind of take these tips and apply them to your own life. The branding behind my company is to be the navigator of your own destiny. And the reason I chose that was because that's exactly what I'm doing with starting my own business. So I'm completely taking control of my future through the choices that I make. So I didn't want anyone to put me in a box, and I wanted to have complete control over my future. And being an entrepreneur allows you to do that. Being an entrepreneur gives you ultimate control over your path in life. So as you can see, the necklace that I have on is the logo for my company and where the logo inspiration came from. This is the compass rose, and the messaging behind the compass rose is to navigate your own destiny. So I live by my own compass, and we all live by our own compasses. No one's compass is the same. We're all different. There isn't really a rule book to life. So I have control over my thoughts and my choices, and you have control over your thoughts and your choices and your decisions that you make in life. I think that's the really cool thing about this logo and the compass rose. We have ultimate control over our destinies, and we all have our own compass.